places a burden on commerce. Now, boys and girls, do you understand what that means? You see, the United States government, that is, the United States of America in Washington, D.C., views you as an article, as a chattel in commerce. You are a commercial entity, like a sack of potatoes, or a ton of rice, or a truckload of lumber. That's what a human body is. It's an article in commerce. It's something to be bought, sold, and traded. And that's why over here in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68, I think it is. Let's see if I'm right. Hey, look at this. And in verse 68, this is Deuteronomy 28. Now listen to this. Here's an article of commerce. And the Eternal shall bring you into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spoke unto you, that you shall see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondsmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. No man shall buy you, but you're going to be sold. And that comes from the Emancipation Proclamation. You see, boys and girls, back during the Civil War years in 1862, when we used to practice slavery and bond servitude, which is a social status that comes from the Bible and from the God of Abraham, we came to the conclusion that God had made a mistake. And so our president, El Presidente Lincoln, came up with a solution. He said, we will abolish slavery and bond servitude. We will fix God's mistake with the 13th Amendment, which we now have done. So now, boys and girls, you are an article in commerce under the 10 planks to the Communist Manifesto. And the state owns you by virtue of your birth certificate. And when we go into national captivity, the United States of America will sell you to the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Egyptians. But not to any private owners, because private ownership of slaves has been abolished. And now we have state ownership of slaves. But we don't call you slaves anymore, we call you employees. State ownership of employees. And that works like this. You see, we have the Department of Labor, and the Department of Labor, you see, they come along and they find you a job. It's called, in Washington State, the Department of Human Resources. And in Washington, the Department of Human Resources finds you employment for Weyerhaeuser to put you to work planting trees on the Weyerhaeuser tree plantation. That way you can be a plantation employee, not a plantation slave. And you're owned by the state, and Weyerhaeuser pays 16% of your wages to the state as the rent for you. They have to rent you from the state. Now, isn't that just real special? And then when you get to be old and full of years, you can be pensioned out under a state pension called Social Security until you die. And then by the birth certificate, the state takes title to your offspring, so that in feudal tenure, the state can continue your duties through your children to the next generation and the next generation and the next generation forever in feudal tenure. But God forbid that we should call you a slave or a bondservant. That's politically incorrect. So today we call you an employee of the Weyerhaeuser Corporation, planting trees on the Weyerhaeuser plantation. Now tell me, boys and girls, have we advanced very far from the Mississippi plantation?
So here we have, side by side, the private trust and the public trust. These are characteristics of the public and private trusts. Important to note that neither is a real man or woman, right? Both of them are titles. As you can see in the private trust, the name is in uppercase, lowercase. In the public trust, the name is in all capital letters. Both of those are just titles, labels. Neither of them are us. So let's go over the private trust first, because you can't have the public trust without the private trust existing first. So in the private trust is the realm of the republic. In the private trust, the uppercase, lowercase name is the natural person. It is the certificate of live birth entity. It is the trustee of the public trust, the controller of the public trust. The name appears, again, as I said, in uppercase, lowercase. And the private trust operates under the law of the land. The private trust is induced by the mother's application for the birth certificate. So the private trust is not the birth certificate. It is evidenced by the birth certificate, but it is induced by your mother's application for a birth certificate. It is created on your behalf. As I said, evidenced by the birth certificate. Your entire estate is pledged to the national government for repayment of the national debt. In the republic, in the private, you are the controller of what will be the public trust. It already is, but from where we're standing looking at just the private trust, what will be the public trust, you are the controller of that. I am the controller of that. Because the government, USA Incorporated, pledged our entire estate, which will define estate later on in the presentation, but for right now, so you have an idea, your estate is pretty much every interest you have in you. It is your body. It is your lifetime's worth of energy. It is everything you will accumulate in this lifetime. Everything you think you own. All of that is pledged to pay the national debt. It is monetized. But in the Republic, we operate as creditors, so we have remedy, right? So they took away our estate, the entirety of it, but they did give us remedy. And we'll get into that later. So that's the private trust. In the public trust operates as a democracy. In the public trust, the name appears in all capital letters. It is the artificial person, the straw man. And that name is the beneficiary of the public trust.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 1 to 14. Verse 1. Now it shall come to pass, if you diligently obey the voice of the Lord your God, to observe carefully all his commandments which I command you today, that the Lord your God will set you high above all nations of the earth. Verse 2. And all these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you, because you obey the voice of the Lord your God. Verse 3. Blessed shall you be in the city, and blessed shall you be in the country. Verse 4. Blessed shall be the fruit of your body, the produce of your ground and the increase of your herds, the increase of your cattle and the offspring of your flocks. Verse 5. Blessed shall be your basket and your kneading bowl. Verse 6. Blessed shall you be when you come in, and blessed shall you be when you go out. Verse 7. The Lord will cause your enemies who rise against you to be defeated before your face. They shall come out against you one way and flee before you 7 ways. Verse 8. The Lord will command a blessing on you in your storehouses and in all to which you set your hand, and he will bless you in the land which the Lord your God is giving you. Verse 9. The Lord will establish you as a holy people to himself, just as he has sworn to you, if you keep the commandments of the Lord your God and walk in his ways. Verse 10. Then all peoples of the earth shall see that you are called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of you. Verse 11. And the Lord will grant you plenty of goods, in the fruit of your body, in the increase of your livestock, and in the produce of your ground, in the land of which the Lord swore to your fathers to give you. Verse 12. The Lord will open to you his good treasure, the heavens, to give the rain to your land in its season, and to bless all the work of your hand. You shall lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow. Verse 13. and the Lord will make you the head and not the tail. You shall be above only, and not be beneath, if you heed the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you today, and are careful to observe them. Verse 14. So you shall not turn aside from any of the words which I command you this day, to the right or the left, to go after other gods to serve them.
And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kine, and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew. And they shall pursue thee until thou perish. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. The Lord shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust. From heaven shall it come down upon thee until thou be destroyed. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shalt be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. And thy carcass shall be meat unto all fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. The Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou canst not be healed. The Lord shall smite thee with madness, and blindness, and astonishment of heart. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore. And no man shall save thee. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thine hand. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed alway, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. The Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations whither the Lord shall lead thee.
How old are you?
9.
9. Do you go to school?
Yes.
Where do you go to school, Jerome?
At the Overturville Elementary School.
I see. What is your sister's name?
Lois.
That's Lois. And what are your other sisters' names?
Catherine. And Beulah.
Catherine and Beulah. What happened to your foot, Jerome?
Dig a nail in out there by the wash house.
So you drove a nail in out by the wash house. What did your mother do for that?
She put some alcohol on it.
Where do you sleep, Jerome?
In his bed.
You have this big bed?
Yes.
What happened? How did you get that hole in that bed there, Jerome?
The rats.
The what?
Rats.
Now, Jerome, you are taking care of Kathy, of Beulah, and Lois.
Yes.
Now, are you going to give them lunch today?
Yes.
What are you going to feed them?
I don't know.
Do you have any food here to give them?
Yes.
I see. What time does your mother come home?
I don't know.
The following day, Arlene King, the mother of Jerome, Kathy, Lois, and Beulah, again was picking beans.
Aileen King, I saw your children yesterday at the Okeechobee camp. Why didn't you put them in the nursery?
I don't make enough to pay for it.
How much does it cost to put them in?
85 cents.
85 cents.
That's right.
Aileen, what time did you come out the field this morning?
6 o'clock.
What time would you get home?
About 3:30, 4 o'clock.
6 this morning to 4 o'clock this afternoon.
That's right.
How much did you earn?
$1.
$1?
That's right. $1.
Is that because the beans were of poor quality?
That's right.
Has this happened before?
That's right.
How much will your food cost you today?
About $2.
Aileen, how old are you?
29.
How many children do you have?
14.
How old were you when you first started working in the fields?
8.
You've been working 21 years in the fields?
That's right.
Aileen, do you ever think you'll be able to get out of this kind of work?
No, sir.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame. They eat up the sin of my people, and they set their heart on their iniquity. And there shall be like people, like priest. And I will punish them for their ways, and reward them their doings. For they shall eat, and not have enough. They shall commit whoredom, and shall not increase, because they have left off to take heed to the Lord. Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart. My people ask counsel at their stocks, and their staff declareth unto them. For the spirit of whoredoms hath caused them to err, and they have gone a-whoring from under their God.
About something over which there is no choice. You cannot not be my offspring no matter how hard you try. But you can forget. You are, have always been, and will always be a divine part of the divine whole, a member of the body. That is why the act of rejoining the whole, of returning to God, is called remembrance. You actually choose to remember who you really are, or to join together with the various parts of you to experience the all of you, which is to say, the all of me. Your job on earth, therefore, is not to learn, because you already know, but to remember who you are.
First Baruch, chapter 2, verse 30. Remember, huh? For I knew that they would not hear us, right? Your parents above. Because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. Huh?
You would say the source of you and the carrying you, but the father and the mother. But this beginning, this Aleph Mem right here, this two-letter etymon is everything. That's whether you believe, whether you have faith, whether you, it is the whole picture from your mom, from being formed in the womb, all the way to emet, truth, knowing the truth. It is the whole course. Aleph Mem is the two-letter etymon of the entire construct of all the words that are most important. But we get our mom from this one little letter. It's a double M. When you see an M that has the little dagesh forte in it, it double speaks an M. You get a MM here, not just Aleph Mem, but Aleph
Mem.
Mem.